Hello.
Ooh, week
All
two.
stars. All stars.
Week two. Definitely a week.
This week definitely
Um,
happened.
Literally, it's just this game is nonstop in a way that we've never seen before. I won't lie. Literally, not today, not one single thing changed from last night. Literally not a single thing. So tell me why, starting at 10 a.m., there were text
That's
messages.
not true. That's not totally true.
It's true though. There were people.
Murph was gonna keep Haley.
Oh, thank you for that. It's just non-stop. It's nonstop. It's non-stop. And that's fun, but it's exhausting. I like this season's I know it's gonna take a toll on me. Um, any thoughts on the week before we just dive into what happened real fast?
For what should have been an extremely straightforward week,
It's so straightforward.
this was not it was still straightforward. It just was not simple.
Yeah.
Which I think will go to show that I don't think any week this season is going to be calm at all. Because this was literally the most straightforward week we could have gotten, probably. So, woo! Okay.
Alrighty, diving into what happened. So, as everyone knows by this point, Anthony won HOH. Anthony's closest allies at this point are, of course, still Victoria, as well as he worked with Alex and Cape Out last week. Still in good with them, haven't talked to them as much. But this week, at the end of last week and also beginning this week, really gotten amazingly well with Dan and Cassidy specifically. Dan, Cassidy, and Anthony now are really going to be a trio to, I think, seriously look out for, which is really exciting. I love this trio. They're playing very well. Really exciting to look out for. So, as to be expected, pretty much with no hesitation, Anthony said, Kate and Haley, you're touching the block. So they go up, they flip out a bit, but it's nothing that's too surprising to the house and nothing really happens. Murph and Nora come up with this plan. We should keep Haley because she's our ally, so we should put her on Cade. Great, smart plan. Unfortunately, Murph has about, I think, maybe the worst execution of any player I've ever seen ever. And after telling Dan and Anthony and Cassidy that they should keep Haley, Murph leads the call going, that went well. And Dan, Cassidy, and Anthony immediately go, Murph's trying way too hard for this. Great. So Haley needs to go because Murph's trying to play his own game. And Haley is their decked, which is another very good read. So yeah. They start getting votes for yeah.
Sorry, I can ask this later. But should the grayed out people still have glows on them?
Yeah, very faint glows.
Okay. Continue.
Then Haley, sorry, should I figure out what I was saying? That's right. Dan, Cassidy, and Anthony start to get the votes against Haley. They go around, they get a lot of votes, one of whom is Matthew. Dan and Cassidy don't really specify, don't tell Nora, your season partner. So Matthew does go and tell Nora, which of course leads to go to Murph, which causes a huge, big blow up. Today, all of the hubbub was the votes locked on Haley, but Murph and Nora are like scrambling to try and get it not to be. Armani forms a final two with Haley and like also pushes for it really bad, like just mess. Today was just mess. But in the end, as to be expected, Haley did leave us by a vote of 11-2. I guess the only other thing to note is that the BB Time Machine was indeed in play this week for the first time. We did see Alex get the secret power of veto, slightly different than it was last time. He can save a nominee after they go on the block at the nomination ceremony. And that lasts up until jury starts. He's told a couple of people, he's told Caitlin, Anthony, and Victoria, which are his one alliance from the week one voters, as well as Murph, Nora, and Dan, who are essentially the alliance that he A, came into the game with, and B, also has like found working with Dan. So it'll be interesting to see where that unfolds. Rocky got the punishment. We said Rocky all the best. We're not quite sure where Rocky is. We'll get to Rocky when we talk about him in the rankings, but he got the punishment, so he was not in the house chat for the week and did not have to vote.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's start diving into it. Starting with Alex this week. Alex had a first ranking of 7 last week, the highest of everyone. Scott, do you want to start?
Yeah. So I do still feel good about Alex after this week. He definitely, after week 1, took a much needed step back from the game. Partly being because like he was very much in the middle of it, but also because it's draining. Like it's just a draining game. I think more people need to take a page out of his book and just like ease up a little bit because I worry people are going to burn out. So he took a step back. I was a little worried because on the day that he did step back, a lot of new structures formed without him. Like for example, I think Anthony, Dan, and Cassidy are going to be a really unstoppable force currently, and he just was completely left out of that. So that's not fantastic. The other thing is, I love Alex to death. He has got to stop. I understand Alex not wanting to nominate Murph and Nora. Like that makes total sense. He should never do that. But like in conversations, he's still like, no, they're fine. Like he needs to stop associating himself with them because not even with Nora. Sorry, he's gonna kill me. We'll get some like Murph. I love you. This is not good. Alex needs to stop associating himself with Murph because right now everyone ties them together, and they see them as a trio, not just a duo. So it is going to affect his game if he continues to. He told Dan about his power, which I think re-solidified trust there. I really love the relationship that he has with Riley. I think he has Riley down on lock more so than anyone else does, even Dan. And he's also like same thing with Caitlin. So like he still has a very good connection. I really don't see him going anywhere anytime soon, but he's definitely not the central force of power anymore. So I'm gonna lower my score to a 6.
Gotcha. I'm gonna stay at my 7. I think that him taking a step back was exactly what he needed. Like you said. Because he really was, I think people could have easily figured out that last week he really was the one that was literally controlling the first week of the game. Literally
He controlled it. He controlled it.
So I think taking a step back was really good for him. To be honest, I think that this Anthony, Cassidy, Dan trio was gonna form whether he was there or not, to be honest. So like I don't fault him for that, for taking a break at all. So I don't think that he was like missing out on that because he wasn't going to be in it anyway. I don't really see a reason to go down to lower my score on Alex this week. So I'm going to stay at my 7. I almost had a slip of the mouth.
Very nice. All right.
We have our little graph back. So fun. Alex goes down slightly. Okay, moving on to Anthony. Did you have the 6 or did I have the 6 last week?
I had the 7 last week.
Okay. I'll start on Anthony. Anthony, I was a little obviously higher than the middle last week on Anthony with the 6. To be honest, I was slightly worried coming into this week with Anthony as HOH because I was a little worried he was just going to be like, oh, fuck it. I'm playing. I'm here to have a good time. And we obviously knew that Caden Haley was going to be the straightforward, easy, simple move. And thank God he just followed through on that and just like did it, because really getting rid of Haley, I think, was probably the best move for him. Haley is someone who can win a lot of comps. Once he already pissed her off, like it didn't, like once you already put her on the block, it didn't matter. Like, so sending her home was good. Not dirtying his, like not giving Armani to have bad association with Anthony's name was probably also good. So I'm going up to a 7 this week, and I'm really high on Anthony right now. So
I totally agree with pretty much the same thing. I was at a 7 for Anthony last week. Pretty much through this whole week, for everything that you just said, I was actually going to raise my score to an 8. The only hiccup that happened was that Murph and Nora found out, and they came for Anthony. If Anthony was able to, after this, like say Murph and Nora got blindsided by this vote, literally, I think Anthony could have been like, oh my gosh, what? And like Murph and Nora would have been set on who did this, and they would have hit it on Anthony. And I think Anthony would have been in the top position. I don't think he's in the top.
You don't think that they would have found out it, like he knew about it? I feel like
I'm sure they would have, but I don't think they would have targeted. Like they would have. I don't think he would have been the one that's in trouble for it. But I mean, we'll never know because it also didn't happen. So that's the only thing. There are so like Matthew was a little wary of like there are still people saying like Anthony is sketchy, just a little sketch. So for those reasons, I was considering going down to a 6. All in all, I think everything that's happened and seeing how the eviction played out, I think everything has kind of neutralized itself. So I'm just staying at my 7. Because overall, I think this was a fantastic week for Anthony.
Cool. Oh, I have to do this. I keep forgetting. We're trading places here. All right. Armani.
Alrighty, I can start Armani.
We kind of jinxed him last week, I think.
Last week, I said Armani seems to really now like understand the game. He's coming in the best he ever has, being really smart. And then this week, we threw that all down the drain and we said we're going to be our same delusional, chaotic self. Armani, this week was atrocious. Literally, like an hour before the eviction, he was still like to Haley, like, yeah, like we don't stop, like I think we can get it. And Haley was like, Armani, it's done. Like, go with the house.
He was like, it's done.
Like he really just continued to push that Haley needed to stay. He's the one that's getting pinned for this new school alliance. Like he's the one that's going to take the fall for it even more than like Cade now. Bad. I really said when I see good gameplay, I'm going to really reward it, and I will with a couple of people coming up. But when I see bad gameplay, I'm not gonna be like, oh, 4, 3. Like, no, Armani's very likely, especially I had this before, but we know the HOH before. Like now we know the HOH. This doesn't affect my score, but like Armani's in very much danger this week. This was really, really bad. I'm going down all the way to a 2.
That's really surprising.
I just think this is atrocious.
Did you have a 2 for Cade last week?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a 3. I was like, it's pretty much the same deal. So I'm gonna go to a 3. Armani, this was not a good week. Literally on FaceTime with the Vibe 5 saying, I wonder if Cade or Haley came down, who would go up? Oh, it's probably Rocky. No, and everyone literally touched the VRs. Armani, it's you. You are the replacement nominee. So
I also cannot get over the fact that, and we'll get to David when we get to David, but Armani and David have like teamed up and they're like, great, secret duo.
They're the delusional
ride this
duo.
out. We're gonna have the new school target the old school, and the old school target the new school, and we're gonna ride it to the end. They're both gonna go home next. Like literally at this point right now, I think David could go home this week and Armani's going home right after. It's a mess. And they're blind to it. I don't understand how you stay. Like, it's not like people are keeping it a secret. Everyone knows. How are you not, like, the fact that you're not aware in this house where everyone tells everyone everything is absurd.
Yes.
This is bad.
I forgot I have to do this. Hold on. I keep forgetting. Yes. Okay, moving on to Cade. Cade had a 2 from you and a 3 from me. Okay, so obviously this was not the perfect week for Cade. On the block on eviction night, literally was gonna stay, or did stay, obviously, was gonna stay no matter what against Haley, but for some reason had to like blow up the house before the nomination ceremony. So everyone now is like, oh, Cade is just gonna blow up again, which is so funny because like I feel like this didn't happen in season 9. This is what I'm saying. I think that Cade is part of a secret twin twist, and there are two Cades that have played this game.
It's crazy. It's not the same
That's
person.
literally the beginning of the jury phase in season 9 was good Cade. Then we saw Cal's thing, and that week following, that was bad Cade. And then it kept switching. And it was like, it's bad Cade now. It's not the same Cade we saw in season 9. I don't know what's happening. So, I mean, I'm going to stay at my 3. He's not like gonna go home this week. Probably he's gonna probably be nominated. He's like whoever he's next to is probably gonna go home. Like he made a safety deal with Anthony, so it's like he's buying time in this game, but like by the day, not like by weeks.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Cade is at this point buying time. Because at this point now, not a single person is like Cade's a threat, but Cade's Cade has become the continuous pawn of the season. Here's the thing.
As far as we know right now, it's still early.
Like it's what it seems like is gonna happen. Yeah, at this point. For some people, that's a death sentence. For Cade, I honestly think right now it's a blessing. Because I think eventually, so long as he's able to survive the next couple of weeks, the perpetual pawns become the people that get looped in if you stay smart. The only thing I worry about for Cade is like this week, literally, Cade was not going anywhere, but every time he opened his mouth, he narrowed the margin in the opposite direction for himself another step. I'm like, Cade, literally, you just needed to be quiet. Haley was going to go home. Every word you spoke, people were like, why aren't we just sending home Cade? Like, he's so not worth it to keep around. And then they had to keep going, no, Haley's smarter. It puts us in the better position, so on. So like, he's not helping himself. He's not in any alliances. Like he literally just needs to wait for something to change. It's not great. But because I don't think like this week, yes, it was bad, but I actually do think it was better than last week. So I'm hoping, I don't want to see Cade go home. I don't. There are other people that I want to go home, and Cade is not one of them. But he's in a tricky spot. I'm gonna go up to a 3.
Okay.
That's a phrase you don't hear often. I'm gonna go up to a 3, but yeah. It's a 3 for Cade.
I'm a fan of this new graphic. I'm a fan, by the way. In case you
oh yeah.
Okay. Moving on to Cassidy. Okay.
Slayer Queen.
Okay. So we gave Cassidy a 6 last week. I gave Cassidy a 6 because she was really well liked, but I felt like I couldn't go any higher because she wasn't really a part of like a main powerful, like a main power structure in the house. This week, she is all up in it. So she is a part of this this trio that is like probably gonna run the next few weeks of the game, if not more. I've never heard anyone be like, "Oh my gosh, we have to target Cassidy." Let alone I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about Cassidy. Let alone say they're gonna target her. So, I mean, like. I don't normally go this high in the beginning, but I'm going up to an 8.
Wow.
If the game stays how it is right now, there's no way that Cassidy doesn't make it to the top 6. There's nothing unless I don't even know what could happen. Like people maybe start to realize that she's a threat. But like if she doesn't win comps and keeps herself under wrap, I don't know what could change that would put her in jeopardy, to be honest.
I really agree. I really agree a lot. There is only one concern that I have for Cassidy. And the only concern that I have for Cassidy is, I have 2 concerns. A, we saw Murph put her on the spot. And listen, Murph was, for lack of a better term, an ass to Cass. Oh, that rhymed.
He was more of an interrogator, I'll say.
But Cassidy like does not do well under pressure. She flounders real bad.
That actually might have been the funniest conversation I was part of so
The
far.
other thing that I do worry about is I worry that Cassie's falling into the same position that she did in season 4, and that she's currently setting herself up for 3rd or 4th place. Granted, this is not me saying I don't think Cass can win. She definitely can. There's so much time left. But again, if the game stays exactly as it is, Dan and Anthony currently are her, James, and Maeve, and they've got a bunch of other people, but like they're Dan and Anthony are not planning on taking Cassie as of right now.
They're not taking each other.
But they both said like I really like Cassidy and we're gonna go far. But Anthony's like, but Victoria's my final 2, and I'll even bring K-Pow. And Dan's like, Kristen and Riley are coming with me. Like, so like Cassidy right now is playing really well for up to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And based off of season 4, I hope that I don't know if we're gonna see her like once she's in with like a click, I don't see her breaking out of it. So that's the only worry I have of her.
So what's your score?
I am going up. I'm raising my score, but I'm only going up to a 7.
You're gonna give her okay. I don't like to dispute ranking, so I'm not like judging your ranking, but you're gonna give her a 7 because she might get taken out in 3rd place.
I don't think she's in the top spot right now. I don't think she's
like okay. Sorry, again, this is not me like trying to get you to change your ranking or anything. I was just wanted to hear your opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean for me, I think it's like I think she's playing fantastic, but of Cassidy, Anthony, and Dan, I don't think that Cassidy's playing the best right now. Because Dan and Anthony are able to pull in like, oh yes, I can get this person, I can get this person, I can get this person. And Cassidy's like, yeah. Like she like, you know what I mean? Like people like her, but like that's her crew. So like I really hope that she's able to pull more things together. But yeah, right now 7 for me is where I'm comfortable with.
Okay, moving on to Dan. Oh wait, sorry, I didn't do this. Did I already do this? Oh, I did.
You did.
I don't know.
Okay, Dan. So Dan, after week 1, was like, this is horrible. The same thing's happening. I need to prove that I'm actually a good player. Blah, blah, blah. I will stand by this. It breaks my heart to say it. Wick going home was one of the best things that could have happened for Dan's game. Because if we saw Wick stay, I really think Dan like really just locks it in with Wick and really isolates himself from the house. Like right now, he's so well insulated with everyone. And sure, people do see it as a threat, but no one has enough insulation outside of Dan to really make a move against him right now. Besides Cade. Oh, I hate. See,
What?
The house chat. Murph's testing me.
Oh.
It's funny though. It's funny. Dan is so well insulated, and he's so.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh never mind. Sorry, keep going. Sorry.
He's so clearly so on the nose with like everything that's happening. After that conversation with Murph, he was the one to be like, guys, Murph is really pushing hard for Haley. If Haley stays, literally Murph and Nora get shifted to directly in the middle, and they're snaking us. So we need to take out Haley now, and we need to make them beg for our loyalty, not the other way around. And literally, he was right. If Cade went this week, Murph and Nora become the central powerhouse of the season. And let me speak for myself, no one wanted that.
Don't speak for me.
And that's why I said, let me speak for myself.
You don't speak for me, Cindy. Don't speak for me.
Listen, ragging on Murph is also part of my personality at this point. So know that it's out of love, Murph. We'll talk to you when we talk to you. But for me, Dan is playing fantastically to the point where everyone currently needs Dan in the game. For that reason, I'm going up to an 8 for Dan.
Mm-hmm. I'm also going to do the same thing, actually. Dan has absolutely nothing to prove at all. Dan going home in week 2 of season 5 was just like more of like a trip up mistake on his part. he has nothing to prove after his season 3 game. And this totally shows it here. Like he never was a bad player in my eyes at all. The way he thinks about everything is so like every little detail, like so. I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of the word.
Methodical.
Oh yeah, methodical. That's a good word. My only worry for Dan is, and this is not a reason that I was gonna go up to a 7. I worry that this is gonna become known very soon.
I agree. I think we're walking a fine line, especially with him as HOH this week.
So,
and listen, as much as I love the idea of making a big move against David, I don't know if it's the right move right now.
No.
I agree, letting David skate by is not a good idea, but David currently has...
But David has no one else. Like
David has no one, and also, you know for a fact someone like Kate is coming after you. You know for a fact that Armani's against you.
Exactly.
You know for a fact that Nora are snaking you.
It's also like...
Why are you going after David?
You can reel him in, and you already know, I'm pretty sure Dan knows, is that like...
I do agree that he should not work with David. I don't think Dan can trust
You don't
David.
think so?
No, never.
You don't think he could trust David?
No.
He doesn't have anybody else in the house.
I don't think it matters. I think David is, and we'll talk about David. David's idea of what's happening in the game is so delusional. I don't think David would work with Dan. There's a reason David hasn't reached out to Dan until this.
Okay, we'll talk about David next. So yeah, I had this thought originally. I'm worried that anybody who is playing the game well now might not be at the end of the season. So that is why I worry for Dan. But like literally his gameplay is phenomenal right now that like I can't not reward it. So I'm Andy, yeah.
Yeah, this week was phenomenal for him. And he even had Murph and Nora like who were going like dance sassy, like calling back.
Isn't that so fun? It's like a book.
That is very fun.
We'll see how the next people ruin it, probably.
David.
I'm not gonna ruin it because he's not that high.
So David last week had 3s from both of us. I have the only word, like, what are you doing? Like literally, David.
I think David's just trying to like enjoy himself, to be honest. I don't think he really cares that much.
I agree with that, but like literally things like thinking Armani is your #1 ride or die. Dumb.
Well, I don't think that's dumb. I think that's true.
If the nominees changed, I would volunteer for the block because I would stay. Those were words that came out of David's mouth. David, everybody in the house wants you out because you have talked to no one. It's not even about your reputation at this point. You haven't talked to anyone. And because you haven't talked to anyone with your reputation, people assume if you aren't with them, you are against them. You're gonna get backdoored this week unless something changes.
Yeah. I'm going to a 2 on David.
Wait, what did you say?
2. He is arguably in a worse spot than last week because he's been doing he did the same thing as last week. If that makes sense. Like he let this nothingness continue for longer. And I don't know if you were there for this, but after Dan won HOH, Anthony was like, bro, you gotta like talk to people. Like, you have to were you there for this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was like, you have to start talking to people. And he was like, yeah, I know. I'm gonna start doing that like tonight and tomorrow. I was like, oh great. At least this is beginning on day 7.
I think at this point, starting talking now is only gonna seal his fate further. With Dan and HOH.
I don't particularly agree with that.
Plea to Dan immediately was like, this plea is fake as hell.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that I think him talking to more people isn't going to affect his.
It's only going to make it worse.
I don't think it's going to make it worse. But I don't think it's going to affect I don't think it's gonna matter this week. I think if he can get out of this week and starts talking to people, then we'll see what happens there. But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually saying at my 3 because for the longest time this week, David actually like there was conversations of like when all the chaos was happening and Murph was blowing up and Haley was doing her like when it was just like mess, people were like, actually, do we need to be taking out David right now? And he was okay for a second. And then people were like, nah, no, he's not his go because he didn't take anything. So I mean, like, listen, I would be shocked if my score goes up anytime soon.
We'll
For
see.
now, I'm not lowering it.
Haley.
Haley Queen, listen. Know that
She came into the season guns blazing. Like
yeah, so like she
hard.
said, oh, like I didn't do anything. I don't deserve to go home. And I disagree with that statement. I agree. And I
say the least.
that you did not necessarily do the things that people said you did, but things like in the first competition, being mad that Anthony and Victoria weren't taking it seriously, or in the Vibe 5 FaceTime, methodically planning out how to get to the final 2 on day 1 of the game. It's things like that where it's just like, unfortunately, you just played a little too hard, too fast.
And this is not coming from us. This is coming from people's diary rooms.
Yes, exactly.
But
also a
also
little too hard, too fast. And ultimately, in my trend of trash talking Murph sent you home. Like unintentionally, you had a shot to say until Murph tried
I don't think she ever had a shot. If we're being honest, I think
Murph, in the beginning of the week after Kate was like, look in the house chat. Anthony sent me this. Who did that?
It took like a day before Dan was like, Murph is pushing too hard. I don't think she ever I don't think people like Dan and Anthony were always gonna be like yes, Kate is annoying us, but Haley's needs to go. Like so I don't think Murph sent her home. I think she sent herself home, to be honest.
I think it was both.
And also like
and that's not just me saying that because I think Murph is being a shitty player right
now. Anyway, you had to throw that in. But also it's not all that like all bad things. It was partly because she was a competition beast last season that people were like she's not on our side totally, and also she won. She like has a record right now, or like is up there for a record. I mean, oh, we have to rank her.
I gave Haley a 2 last week. I didn't think she did particularly worse this week. I'm just saying at my 2.
I'm gonna go down to a 2. It was almost like she was on the block because of last week, and she couldn't do anything this week to save herself. It was like,
yeah.
Like, I don't think she did anything this week that was like making it worse for her, to be honest. I think it was all.
She was unfortunately just barking up the wrong tree and making the wrong argument.
Yeah.
People weren't voting her out for the New School Alliance. That was just their excuse. Yeah.
Caitlin. Oh, I have to do this. Hold on, JK. Rolling. Okay. So fun. Okay.
Wow, we're very split on people.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Caitlin. Caitlin's interesting. Last week we saw a lot of Caitlin. This week we saw almost 0 Caitlin. I still feel good about Caitlin, but not hearing from Caitlin when it comes to people like Dan and Anthony, who in the past have been snaked by Caitlin or have been beat out by Caitlin or things like that, it makes them go, Caitlin really with us? And right now, Alex has been able to save that, but like that's not gonna last forever. I feel like there is like this kind of idea in the air that like Caitlin can't be fully trusted, and she is gonna have to go at some point. And that point isn't soon, but the fact that like that's in the air, she's not well insulated. Well, so I'm not feeling as high on Caitlin as I was last week.
Mm-hmm, me neither.
I'm out. Should I give a score now? I don't have many more thoughts than that.
I mean, I was just gonna say I agree. I agree. I was really, really high on Caitlyn last week, and now I'm not really feeling it anymore. Like at least at the second.
I'm not feeling it, but
Sure.
yeah.
I'm not feeling the high on Caitlyn anymore, is what I'm saying. I'm not feeling I'm only gonna go down to a 5.
That's where I'm going as well.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, I this is what I said before. I just said this. I personally would be shocked if the people that are running the game right now are running the game in the end. So I think maybe this is probably good for Caitlyn right now, at least. Laying low a little bit more, because I could see Caitlyn. I could see Caitlyn running the end of this game. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. These drops are so big for some reason. Like they feel so big. Anyway.
Well, because Armani's was big. His core went in half.
Anyway. Kristen Rake.
Kristen Rake. I don't know. I'm still disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's
also, wait, I'm so sorry. She had a DR this week that I laughed at, and she's gonna kill me for making fun of her like this. But she was like, Murph is the only one that I'm trying to remember the exact wording. She was like, Murph is the only one that is noticing how big of a threat I am. And honestly, that's a mistake on everybody else's part. And I was like, Kristen, no.
Kristen, here's a challenge for you, Kristen. Name an ally that you have besides Jaden. Uh-oh. You can't do it.
Challenge over.
I mean, like, listen, she's talked to Caitlyn, but they don't talk enough for them to be a threat. She's talked to Murph, but like, seriously, she's talked to Cassidy, but that's just to get in closer with Cassidy and
Matthew.
Like, it all just comes back to being Dan's in a circle. And right now, she's not doing anything besides being Dan's puppet. And like, she is thinking for herself, but everything that she's thinking is in line with Dan. I want to see what happens if Kristen ever disagrees with Dan, what Kristen does.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm just going to stay at my 5. I don't feel good enough to go raise my score.
I'm looking at my rankings for other people. Honestly, I was feeling meh on Kristen last week. And to be honest, I'm feeling more meh this week. So I'm gonna go down to a 4. Because it's not even like K-Pow where it's like she's not talking and she's not like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this stuff. Kristen's like thinks she's doing stuff, but she's not.
It's the thing we say season after season after season. It's better to be on the bottom and know you're on the bottom than to think you have all this power and have 0 sway.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing where you're at is way more powerful than not, even if you're on the bottom. Like, I like, in terms of like being able to navigate the game moving forward, I like Cade's chances of being able to do something more than I like Kristen's chances of being able to do something. Because at least Cade knows, great, I'm on the bottom. Here's what I'm going to have to do. Kristen is like, great, I'm in the power position and everyone's running circles around her.
Yeah. All right,
but she is still, like, because she has Dan as an ally, not as an enemy, she'll be protected for now.
Yeah. Maris had what score did you give her last week?
I give her a 4.
I give her a 3. That makes sense.
I can start with Maris.
Sure.
She's still on another planet. I don't know what game she's playing. That's not Big Brother. Maris, and listen.
I'm sorry, wait. Could you imagine if we did these rankings for seasons 1, 2, and 3? People would hate us.
They would hate us.
Friends, we would not have friends.
Listen, anyway. I love all these people. This is fun for me. Maris I can't blame her entirely because season 6 was a boring ass season for the most part. It had some moments, but overall, Maris really just had to sit there, make one really, really smart move, and then was protected to the end. And that one really smart move was one of the greatest moves we've ever seen in the game ever. Go off. But like this season, she's sitting here kind of doing the same thing, only this time she doesn't have an alliance. She's going after the one person that has her back. Still, the only thing that I'll say that was good is now everyone else wants Armani out. So Maris going after Armani is like, look at me fitting in with the group. Yay, it might buy you an extra week max. I mean, I still don't feel good. She's not gonna be.
The house chat is currently playing color coded.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't know. She's not going to be an immediate target, but like literally, we haven't seen her actively reach out to anyone to try and make inroads. It's just been people coming to her. So I don't know. I'm saying at my 4, and I expect to go down soon.
I'm saying my 3. I don't have anything else to say. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm not gonna say anything else. Matthew. Only at a 5.5. Okay. Okay, I can start on Matthew. I said this last week. Matthew is my sleeper pick to win the game. I just said this again. The people who are running the game right now are not going to be running at the end. Matthew, I think I could see running the game at the end here. I don't know if him telling Nora was the best thing for him.
Oh, I mean, I'll speak on this right now. In the moment, I went, "Oh no, Matthew."
No.
But guess what?
I don't
saved it with all sides of the house.
I figured everyone would be like, "Oh, Matthew told me this," and then they would like be like, "Oh, Matthew is on my side."
That's not what happened, and it's because Matthew immediately fessed up. He realized he didn't tell Nora with the goal of being like, "I'm gonna be good with all sides." He told Nora to be like, "This is my ally. I want to keep her in the loop." And after he told Nora, he went back and he was like, "Guys, I told Nora, but now I think it was a mistake." And because of that, unintentionally, I think, but nonetheless, he's good. He's the only person I think that is 100% currently good with all sides of the house. Granted, right now, people do, based off of his reputation, go, guess what? Maris Meyer is out of the running for the power. She set a clock to the house chat. I don't care. We said the rules. Anyway. Wait, can I make the announcement? Can I do it?
Sure. I'm just gonna pause this.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Matthew. I'm going up to a 7. Because I don't think he's like he's not like actively power playing making moves right now. So I will go up, I think, if he gets that HOH, but I don't think he needs to win it. He doesn't need to win HOH right now.
He doesn't need to win HOH. He's currently like almost in the exact same position that he was in season 7. The only issue is people know the season 7 game and thus aren't always giving him all of the information. But as long as he's able to keep trust up with people, I don't think he needs all the info right now. So I am in the exact same boat. I'm giving Matthew 7.
Who's calling? Okay. Murph.
Let me go. Let me set the stage. I'm going to practice good practices, and I'm going to start by speaking positively on Murph. And I promise this is not a joke. In season 7, we gave Murph crap for being like, "Oh my gosh, he's just playing Nora's game. He's not thinking for himself. He's being really stupid, blah, blah, blah." I can give full credit to Murph here. Strategically, he's playing a very good game this season. and that he knows what like the right moves to make are. He's very smart that way. Here's where unfortunately it doesn't work. He thinks he's the shit and that like he deserves to like run this game because he deserves to win season 7. That's what it comes off as, to me at least. I won't project that onto exactly what he's thinking. Literally, strategically, yes, he's great, but it doesn't matter if you have the social skills of like a 2-year-old. Like, it's not good. He's pissed off everyone because he just comes at them instead of talking with them, including his own allies of Nora and Alex. Like they're all like they're like, oh my gosh, I just cannot work with Murph, because you can't work with Murph. You either like do what Murph says or he gets mad at you, and it's kind of ridiculous. He almost got backdoored this week for a hot sec, and the only reason it didn't happen, truly, I think, it was because it happened the conversation happened right before the veto meeting.
It also like wasn't wasn't real. Like, I don't think that was.
I think it could have been real. If he gave it a serious enough of consideration, it could have been real. Was it? No, it wasn't considered for all that long. But now, with Haley gone and the way that he handled this week, he's in a horrible position. If you asked me 24 hours ago, I literally was considering giving him a 1. I would have done it. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving Murph a 1 because his game is not that far down the trash. However, after literally like his behavior alone this week and his position, I expect to go up because maybe he's not going home immediately, but I'm giving him a 2. This week was bad, and I don't care. Like, this is bad, Murph. Like, just the way you talk to Cassidy, and like it was just bad. It was bad. I don't even know what else to say. And like this is
just stop talking.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna stay at my 3. The only reason I'm not going into a 2 is because I don't think he's actively going home when it was last week when the rankings were being made. I didn't think he was actively going to be going home this week. Now with Dan as HOH, he's got his sights set on David and on Armani, and he's got things to do. But I don't think he has much time left unless he does something. I don't know. But I'm staying at my 3. Yeah, this wasn't good. I will say that. So Murph's at 3. 2.5 minutes. Okay.
It was so bad.
Okay, Nora. I'll start on Nora.
Okay, so.
No, I said.
Huh?
I said I'll start on Nora.
Oh, okay. Right, hear that.
First, I would like to apologize for my words for Nora last week. Because she initially did say earlier in the season, I guess it's still early, but like in the first days of the season, that she was playing for Murph to win. And I really don't think that deserves a score higher than a 4 in my eyes. But with that being said, I don't know if that's actually true. I think she says that, but I think she wants to win. I think she wants to win for herself. And I think that
I hope she does.
we could very, very, very likely be seeing Murph and Nora as final nominees. Murph goes in all cases. And then Nora's left with herself and her social game. Could be interesting. So,
in the same way that I think Wick going home was the best thing to happen for Dan, Murph going home would be the best thing to happen for Nora.
But that still requires all that to happen. And that also includes her not going home when that, like if/when that happens. So I was at a 4 last week. This was not she lost one of her closest friends and couldn't do anything about it. Also, another thing that Murph said to Nora, he was like, why are we just appeasing the HOH? I was like, that's not what's happening here. You literally do not have the votes to keep her. That's a completely different story. And Nora was like,
deal with that.
Nora was like, we don't have the votes. I'm not appeasing the HOH. I was like, thank you. I can't go up this week, but like last week I had like a low 4. I'm going like a high 4 this week. Because this was like the outcome of this week was not great for her. With that being said, I think people would be open to working with her in the future. So
Here's something that like Nora. Socially is I think one of the best to ever play. I won't lie, because like I really see her as the modern Bella DeShays, where she has a way with words where she's able to get people to like her and get on her good side. Interestingly, this season we've never had to see Bella. With season 2 we had to see it, but like we've never seen the Bella DeShays type player really have to play from the bottom. And have to like grovel to people. But one thing that Nora like very quickly picked up on, and she was like, Murph, Haley's going home because because you campaigned too hard for her to stay. We need to take a step back. We need to get back in good with them. We need to let this go. And that's when Murph was like, you're really going to do that? And Nora was like, we don't, and we push too hard for this more, we're going to screw ourselves. So like Nora had a conversation with Dan, and Dan went to his diary room after. It was like, I just gaslit Nora so hard. I feel really, really bad, but like, I know I've got her like.
No, that was me. I said that.
Oh, what?
I don't think he ever said the word gas. Well, I'm gonna check. Hold on. I said gaslight. I don't know if we both said it. That was probably me.
Oh, okay, never mind then. So maybe it wasn't Dan. Either way, like Dan had a very good conversation.
Oh no, it was Dan. It was Dan that said that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said it was Murph said that.
No. Dan said.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gaslighting Nora so hard right now. I feel really bad, but like she's coming back to me, and I really like her, so like that's okay. And like Nora is like, Dan is sus, Cassidy is sus, Anthony is sus. I can't do anything about it now, but like don't think I haven't noted it. So like Nora is a very smart player, and I give her a lot of credit for that. And unfortunately, like literally, Murph is dragging her down. And I hate, like, I don't want it to seem like I'm just hating on Murph for the sake of hating on Murph, because Murph is really good in a lot of ways, but socially it is just not one of them. And their connection is just sinking them to the bottom of an ocean. And she can try to swim back up, but she's going to run out of air if she doesn't drop.
Okay, good drowning metaphors. What's your score?
Yes, last week I was at a 5. This week I am going to a 4. I hope that Murph and her game don't tank. I hope only Murph does.
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
I think after Molly Murphy keeping a quotes list of the bad things we said about her,
I really should make a compilation. Like, I love Joe. I love, like let me put this on the record. I love Murph so much. If part of this is like a meme, but like Murph, you're bringing it onto yourself. This was not a good week. You cannot expect me to get a high ranking.
Let me say this too. I was fully ready this season to be like Murph gung ho, like fully ready.
I was willing to give him the chance. I picked him on my team late, but still. I did say I wanted to bomb him when I did it, but still.
Yeah, instead of last. Thank God. Anyway, moving on to Riley.
Like 12th pick or 14th pick.
Riley, I feel really similar to Riley as I do to Caitlin currently. Whereas last week I was like, yes, Riley, go Riley. And now I'm like, you know, I'm not really feeling it anymore. I don't see her like last week we saw her connect with a lot of people and I was like, yes, keep going. And then she was like, you know what I'm saying? You want to go?
Funny enough, I actually feel the opposite of you.
Oh,
last week I was at, opposite by not that much.
Wait, sorry. I had the 6 last week, right?
I had the 5.
Yeah.
And that would be like this week we've seen like Riley talking with Alex makes me really happy.
That is true.
And also the difference between Caitlin and Riley for me is the main core power structure goes, I'm iffy about Caitlin. Main core power structure goes, we've got Riley. And listen, if there's anything we know about Riley McGee, is that sure, she may not be in the inner power structure right now, but it's exactly what you said. The people in power right now are not going to be people in power at the end. I don't like Anthony, Cassidy, and Dan are running the game right now. None of them plan on going to the end with each other, except for maybe Cass. And Riley is going to become a very crucial person that people need in the game. And she's good when when Riley needs to be good. She's very Emma McIntyre in that way. When Riley needs to be good, she'll play the game. And right now she doesn't need to. So I don't follow her too much. I can't give her a crazy amazing score because like she's not being a crazy amazing player right now. But it's like she's another dark horse. She could slip in there, I think. So I'm going to go up to a 6 this week.
Gotcha. I'm actually gonna go down to a 5.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah.
From her FaceTime call, I was very excited to see her talk. I agree with that. I was very excited to see her talk game with Alex. From the conversation, it just felt like she was really out of the loop. And
yeah, it's not shocking.
So that's why I'm like, like I can get behind you with the fact that I think Riley is here to stay. I just worry that she's gonna be kind of like taken, which I guess these are kind of my thoughts in the beginning of season 3. So I mean, I'm completely ready and willing to be proven wrong. So okay, so I'm going with 5. So Riley has 5.5 for this week. Same score. We just switched scores. That's funny.
She's the only person to say exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. Where even is she? Oh, the yellow line right here. Okay. Rocky.
I think she's the only person to keep the same score.
Yeah.
Oh no, Maris.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Rocky.
Okay. So Rocky. Everyone, I assume, knows this by now. Really, unfortunately, we haven't heard from Rocky in the last couple of days. He just gave us a heads up, got some things going on. He's not going to be super active. Unfortunately, not super active has meant I'm not literally going to look at my phone. We hope he's doing well. Like we adore Rocky. We love Rocky. Rocky was my first pick, and like literally, not just because he was my first pick, but like we know how badly Rocky wanted to play again, and it just feels like the circumstances aren't allowing him to do so, which is really sad. If he comes back, I don't doubt that he's going to be like no one's talking like we need Rocky out next because of the new school thing. If
Haley was pushing him to go, but yeah.
Who?
Haley's gone. Yeah. Haley.
Yeah.
Haley's
like I don't doubt that if he comes back, I think he can make inroads and be brought into things. The question is, at this point, is Rocky going to be coming back?
Yes. Yeah. I exactly agree with you because I thought you were going to say something else, but yeah, I agree with that.
So we'll keep tabs on it. Last week I was at a 4. This week I am going to go down to a 3. And I hope we see Rocky again.
I was at a 5 last week. The thing with Rocky, I told you this, Scott. He wanted to play so badly this season that if he's not responding, it's for something really important. He's not just blowing us off. So first and foremost, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
I hope we like get confirmation from him like soon, just so we know that he's like
okay,
alive or something. Yeah, like okay. I'm gonna go down to a 4 because I feel like that's like the neutral, not doing anything score. So that's what I'm going with. So Rocky's 3.5. And then finally is Victoria.
Right.
Victoria had 5s. Okay.
I mean, listen. I hate to say it. What we're getting from Victoria is we weren't going to get anything more from her. She's busy. I don't blame her. But she's going to do what Anthony says the whole game. Is she ever going to be in danger right now? No. Is she ever going to have any win potential? I literally think no. I'm sorry. I don't see her playing the game ever. I see her being well insulated with the group, and that Anthony will be able to tell her what to do, and that's what I see happening. I love Victoria to death. I'm very happy she's back.
Yeah.
But we're not getting anything more.
I'm going down to a
Staying on
4.
my 5.
I'm going down to a 4. Again, like I said, that's my neutral, not doing anything score. Kristen's at it, Rocky's at it, Victoria's at it. Yeah. All right.
At the end of the week, Dan has moved up to be our top spot this week. Is our new HOH as well. I hope for Dan that he doesn't screw himself with this HOH. I feel like he very easily could. I hope that he doesn't. If he sends David home, he better make sure it is a perfectly thought out plan. Because you're leaving a lot of people in the game that want to come after you. Then we have Cassidy in second, not surprising. Anthony in third, also not surprising. Matthew and Alex quickly following behind. I think they'll be able to slip in there. Down at the bottom, Haley, she went home, not shocking. Also not shocking is that Armani and Murph are down there. Oh, Steven disappeared.
Can you see me? You can't see me.
Oh, wait, it looks like your screen is just completely black.
It is, the light's on.
Oh, that's funny. It seems that Murph and Armani played very bad games this last week.
There we go.
They are down in second to last. Not shocking. And David's down there tied with them, not because he played a bad game, but because he's played no game and is delusional to think that he would be safe if he volunteered for the block. Excuse me. So
these
I
are
think
our
we're safe this week, but I think we will be seeing either Armani or David walk out the door. And if we don't see it be one of the two of them, we'll see it be Cade, who is the next lowest.
Yes. Next rankings in 2 days.
Yeah,
And the next rankings in 4 days. We have a very busy week coming up. So yes, we will see you on Wednesday for our week 3 rankings to see what Dan does with his HOH. And goodbye.